Welcome everybody to the channel. If you're new, you're welcome. I just thought I'd play this. My new mate, my new friend in the tour is Reese Mogg, whatever his name is, Reese Mogg, whatever. I'll play this clip anyway on my GB News and sort of what he's saying, because he's talking what should be sensible to people out there, and you understand there is somebody in Parliament who's making some effort to sort of understand what the people want, and like I said, so I'll put that in the video, and hope you understand that you know, he's a new mate of mine now, I suppose, a Tory mate, I suppose. If he's after the same thing as what I am, that means a licence fee to be abolished, and some other way of funding it, the BBC, and you know, like a subscription situation. So anyway, folks, I'll put the video in if I can do it, and hope you understand that at least they've got somebody in the government who, or maybe a few other people as well, that or maybe get this situation started and sort of have a debate about it, and sort of, but it's you the people out there, it's you the people, people power, you the people can make the change, and that's what it's all about, folks. I'll be seeing you.
Jacob, tell me, the BBC are about to retreat. Kelsey, please.
Yes, you shouldn't be surprised by that. And I think the issue is about the BBC rather than about Gary Lineker's view. He's entitled to have any view that he wants. That, we are all in favour of freedom of speech and people being allowed to say things that we don't agree with or we may even find offensive. And that's absolutely fine. He can say what he likes. The issue is that the BBC is the state broadcaster and that it's funded by a tax on televisions. If it weren't, then we wouldn't need to worry about its impartiality. And actually, if we changed the funding mechanism of the BBC, we could have a much freer media, as they do in the United States, where people are allowed to say what they think. And I think that would be much better, rather than this pretense that the BBC is impartial, which it isn't, and then having rows about particular...
So you're saying get rid of the licence fee, which we all have to pay if we watch TV, even people over 75 now?
I have long thought that the licence fee is a constraint on the BBC, that it stops it earning revenues by subscriptions on the iPlayer or by taking advertising, and it leads to a heavily regulated media based around what the BBC needs and what is needed for a state-funded channel. And so, yes, I'm saying the licence fee has passed its sell-by date. It needs to go.
Would you recommend that people cancel their there fees?
No, because people must obey the law. I'm not in favour of...
But cancel the licence fee and not watch the BBC?
Yeah. There are so many different ways of watching recorded programmes now that you don't invariably need a licence fee. I certainly wouldn't pay a licence fee if you don't need it and you don't...
If you've got a television, you have to pay the licence fee.
No, not anymore.
No.
But how do you prove you're never watching the BBC?
You don't have to. The onus of proof is always on the prosecution. Okay. You're innocent until proven guilty. You can't watch live television on a television, if I understand it correctly, and you can't use an iPlayer without a licence. Yeah. But I think if you watch YouTube, watch programmes that have been pre-recorded and aren't BBC ones, you don't need a licence.
And you can watch GB News without a licence fee, of course. I have several friends who've cancelled their licence fee in the last few years.
Do you watch the BBC on conventional television?
Sometimes, yes.
Right. And doesn't infuriate?
But not inevitably as much as I did when I was a child, when you only had 4 channels. Actually, when I was a little child, we only had 3 channels. And it's so... I might watch it much, much less, but I still watch things like Newsnight. So... I can't. I'm definitely going to need a licence.
Were they right to suspend Lineker or not?
I think Lineker is a distraction from the overall picture of the licence fee, and I think those of us broadly on the right have to be very, very careful about attacking people for freedom of speech. So I'm not fussed about what he says. I'm not fussed about his contract. I'm fussed about the fact that the BBC is not an impartial broadcaster, but is funded by all of us, and that's the fundamental issue.
Do you think he was...